Thanks, Leanne. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, I know.
Hey guys, we have a show tonight for you that is going to be amazing. You really need to hear this story. My mouth is just dropping, going, I can't believe that this actually happened to our guest today. And I will introduce her in a sec. But before we do that, you know Rianne. Rianne has been the genius behind the scenes, doing all our social media. I wanted to introduce her, and also preparing the show and sharing it and doing all the amazing work with the graphics. Like, she's a real treasure, and we just love her very much. So I just wanted you to meet her today and tell her how beautiful she is, because she's like, so I wanted her to come on the show and help me to there's a lot of things to share, and I'm like, I'm getting confused. So we are here and we're going to share some stuff, right? Is it called housework? Housekeeping. Housekeeping, not housework. I do it all the time. I wish I could just
Next time I'll put housekeeping.
Thank you.
I'll do that one.
Thank you, Rianne. Okay, we wanted to say thanks to everybody for coming along to our grand opening of the op shop. It was a huge success. We really had a wonderful time.
We did.
I had 3 sausages from the sausage sizzle.
Me too. It was so yummy.
But you know what? We're going to be doing it again. Yeah, we're going to be having sausage sizzle every Saturday.
Every Saturday? Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we are excited because every Saturday we open from 9:30 to 1. And we're going to be having the tent. And we've got a little surprise coming up. I can't talk about it yet because it's coming in a few weeks. But we're going to have the sausage sizzle, the op shop, and we've got another little surprise coming.
Okay.
So if you love coffee... Just saying.
Okay, now I know, yeah. So you better watch out, guys.
Yeah, because I'll be drinking it all. But the grand opening was a huge success. I just wanted to thank everybody for the donations and for coming along. Okay, it's really, it's about unity, and it's about, being there for each other, especially at these times when we're launching something new. And everything that we sell in there goes towards what we do. It's 100%. All the volunteers, the ladies work hard. Sharon, Sissy, who's my mum, Vicky, Emily, and let me see. Oh, I forgot his name. Oh my goodness, we have so many people working there. Sorry. Memory, that's what happens. Meth brain, they call it. No, but we had a huge success, and everybody that helped out on that day, thank you so much. Your time, Renee for helping, all the team that turned up, Maria, everybody.
Yeah.
Really, it's too many to mention, but we're going to be doing it on Saturday. Again, if we're open every day during the week, 10 o'clock.
10 to 4 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah, Tuesdays to Fridays.
Tuesday to Friday, there you go.
And then Saturday, 9:30 to 1 p.m.
Awesome, that's great. So come along and visit our op shop, the AIC op shop, and we've got some really amazing things in there.
There's so many good things.
Oh my goodness.
I swear.
We had a modelling show.
Yeah, we do.
Today,
Yeah.
Right? It's so cool. I looked out my office door and I'm like, what's going on out there?
We took some photo shoots.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. So we've got some really good things like paintings, like named artists, and we've got some designer label stuff.
Yeah, we have Michael Kors,
Wow.
Guess.
Wow. Cool.
Chanel, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think we did, and we had some like name brand scarves and stuff that's coming up. So come and check it out. We need to do a huge thank you to everybody who participated in the raffle. Thank you to the raffle. Who the raffle?
So we wanted to thank Christian. Christian for donating tickets for the Village Roadshow theme parks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
And Maria for the lip sense.
The lip sense set.
And of course Kmart for the $50 voucher.
Yay! Thanks, guys.
And the people who won.
Yep.
It's all on Facebook. So.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Lucky you.
So cool. Yeah. But there'll be more.
I heard.
We needed to talk about Westfield. Tell me about Westfield.
Yeah. So thank you again to Westfield Houseville for allowing us to do our outreach. We did our outreach last Tuesday, and a lot of people came and said hi, and thank you very much. Always.
Awesome.
And I think we're gonna do it again next week.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
and the team are awesome.
Yeah,
guys, they all volunteer and they come out there to help you. Yeah, to give you information, to tell you about what we can do in your community, what we do in schools, but also to help families that might have loved ones in addiction, or if you're in addiction and you want to create a pathway out, come and visit one of our outreaches or give us a call. The number to call is 1-800-NO-TO-ICE. That's 1-800.
6686423.
Yeah, you rock. I'm going to bring it on the show every day. So every Thursday. You're on.
Yeah. Okay.
Sensi by Bianca.
Sensi by Bianca.
We're having, did you smell those things?
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
I love it.
We're doing a fundraiser and the link is going to be on Facebook. So what it is, you've got to have a look. It's these scented wax and you can buy a warmer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but these waxes are amazing. And
It smells so good.
you can put them in your clothes as
I
well.
know. Yeah.
Like these little things that you can put in your clothes and you can smell them. And I'm like,
I love
I've just
it.
had my nose in this bag all day.
Me
It's
too.
not drugs this time. It's just smells, right? It's really cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing a fundraiser. I believe 25%, is that right? Of all the fundraiser, I think, come back to AARC. So thank you, Sensi by Bianca. And all the funds raised for that is for Ipswich, right? Yeah, so that's with Zoe up there in Ipswich. And all the funds raised are going back to help us educate kids in the Ipswich school, okay, and to equip the Ipswich team to do what we do there. So that's awesome. Thank you so much to Mercer and Cooper for continuing to support us. And you went to Grilled Harbour Town without me.
Oh,
I saw you.
Yeah.
They were on Facebook. They were like Harry Christian. Like, I'm like, where's my invite? I love it.
I know, but like that's our way to support AARC, and it's still ongoing. The donation, the jars that we have is still in Grilled Harbour Town. So 4 more days.
Oh, come
4
on.
more days.
You need a burger.
Yeah.
You need a burger.
It's so yummy. It's so yummy, my gosh.
And it's healthy, right,
It's
guys?
healthy.
So get down there, buy a burger, take a token, put it in the Australian Anti-Ice Campaign tin because we want to win. Yeah. We're all about winning.
Yeah.
We don't lose.
Yeah, we don't.
And we're winners because we've come out of addiction and, you know, we help people every day. And these guys, you know, we all volunteer, yeah? We do this every day because of love. Really, we don't want to see you or anyone you love entrapped in that space. So get down there, eat a burger, and help us help more people. Hey, we've got to promote the Ride Against Ice on October the 24th, Meakin Road in Kingston, Queensland. If you like riding motorbikes, or if you know anybody that, please share that information. The Ride Against Ice will be on the 24th of October, and it's going to be fun.
You can register now and just go to our Facebook page. We
Yep.
have the link so that they can register.
Is that on our events page?
Yeah.
Awesome. So hop onto there, register, and so you can come along and join us in the Ride Against Ice.
And we're gonna have special guests.
We are. I know. Andrew Anderson will be singing. If we can get. It all depends on COVID right now, but we're just praying our way through this and going, come on, you know. And if the end festival doesn't happen, you know, I'm suggesting that we still ride. You know, we still ride, and we'll postpone the festival, the end festival. We've got, I think it was, who was the artist? Oh no!
Man. Oh no, not man.
Oh, we've got a few famous.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh my god, I should have prepared that.
It's alright. You can't do everything, but we do have a few famous artists coming and to sing and take part in it.
Hole, Adam Hole.
Oh yeah!
Adam Hole, yeah.
Have you heard that guy play?
No.
Oh, you have to. You have
Okay.
to. They're amazing. They are
Next
really
time.
amazing. We love them. They were at our ride show and shine event a little while back, and amazing. People were just like, oh my goodness, they're so good. I love guitar and and Angry Anderson, and I might even sing. We'll see what happens. Neo Car Wash coming up soon, so we'll let you know when the dates are for that. But we will be busy washing cars. That's us. That's right. We will be busy. I'll be in there. You'll be in there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, awesome.
Of
We're
course.
going to be washing cars. So that's a fundraiser for AIC coming up really soon. We'll keep you updated. And what else, Rhiannon? What else we got?
Please like our AARC Op Shop Facebook page. We put everything there. Yeah, we put everything there. All the photos, our fashion style of the day. Yeah,
awesome.
we had a little photo shoot earlier.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
If you're into a vintage style,
Cool.
fun style, or like, you know, even kid style, bohemian,
Wow.
it's gonna be there.
We got a whole heap of kids stuff today.
Yeah, we
don't
do. We have toys.
Yep. And we got some
Everything.
really some artwork that was really like, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So we're like excited about that. Check out the Facebook page for AARC Op Shop, and every day, like, Rianne's putting up specials and things that have come in, and shows, and, you know, to be able to help you pick your attire. Yeah. And guys, honestly, final note before we introduce our guest, join the AARC Army. You know, we are not a funded organisation. We all work from a place of love. You know, every $10 we raise helps us educate one kid. We have counsellors, we have a care team that help families every day handle, you know, how to handle their loved ones in addiction. We help them with tools. Optimal Health Group, with George Patricki, he trains all our staff, and he's got some amazing tools that you can learn from on our website. Yeah, if you are a family member and you want to know how to work with your loved one, you need to have a look at our website and go through Sammy Brief. So it's substance abuse and mental health intervention, and that's some training there to give you a holistic approach on how to have that conversation, what's happening with your loved one, what's the cycle of addiction, what's the cost versus the benefits conversation, and how to help create a pathway where they're at the right time, at the right place, to create that pathway to us, to give them a buddy and help them step out of that space. Yeah, so I encourage you to have a look at our webpage. That's www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and get yourself equipped, because without the right tools, you know, you can be like walking in the dark and not knowing where the PowerPoint switches are and how to help your loved ones. So we need your help to join us. So join the army, because in the army you're becoming part of the movement and part of the change. Yeah, what's been done in the past in our society in Australia hasn't worked. Yeah, proof is in the pudding. You know, we've now had I went to some government meetings this week, Leanne, and they said that there was 130% increase in crime over the last year. 120% increase in mental health, and 120% increase in homelessness in 1 year. So all of these topics, and domestic violence, you know, is going rampant through the roof, and all of these issues are related. There's so many of it related to ICE. The underlying thread is ICE. Yeah, so we want to go down, go to the core, and help. We help in that area. We help people that are in addiction create pathways out, but our core is really prevention. That's better than cure. Yeah, so our heart, we go into schools, and we go in, you know, into communities, and we share information from lived experience. We share education. We hope that the next kid doesn't pick this up. I was just sharing with somebody today, we've got kids as young as 8, yeah, on ICE in Sydney, in Cairns. It's out there. It's, you know, don't think it won't happen to you. You know, we're here to help the next generation, and we can't do it without you. So by joining the army, you sign a petition to government to say we need real lived experience education. We need something different, and you can make a small monthly contribution if you like. You know, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can afford. But it helps us continue our work. We are now in Coffs Harbour, in Sydney, in Melbourne, Adelaide, Cairns, WA are forming a team at the moment. We're about to launch that in a big way, but we can't do that without your help. Yeah, so we need resources, we need computers, we need internet, we need phone systems so we can talk to the people, and yeah, I'm just imploring you to join the army, become part of the change. Yeah, all you need to do is hop onto our website, www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and there's a little tab there that says join the army today. Click it, join it, become part of the movement, become part of the change. Yeah, because in unity we achieve more.
True.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
How much easier is it when there's more people in the office, and you know we've got so much work to do, and schools are booking and the phones are ringing, and there's more people, because I can book a school and you can answer the phone, and you know, and somebody else can get the door because somebody's walked in. In unity, we just get a lot more done. So we're asking for your help today. Join the army and help us put the freeze on ice in our nation. Yeah. We're looking for outreach. What's that?
Yeah,
we are looking for outreach. No, we're not.
Volunteers.
We're looking for outreach. I'm like, we don't have outreach.
We're looking for outreach volunteers and admin support. So if you're interested, it's on our Facebook page. You know, you can message us. We're gonna reply.
Yep. Awesome. That's great. And they can click volunteer with us on our webpage too and come and join us. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. We're always volunteers for the op shop, sausage sizzles, car wash, outreach, care team if you're qualified, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
If you're somebody in recovery and you want to join and become a presenter and educator, we can train you up to do that too. So, there's lots of areas that can help and be part of the change. Yay! Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Rianne. We will come back and talk about some of our merch at the end, huh?
Yeah.
Because I know you wanted me to do that. We got some cool merch.
Yeah.
And we will introduce you to Sally.
I'll leave you.
Thank you, Rianne.
Thank you, bye.
See you, Rianne. I love it. Okay, let's have a conversation. Guys, thank you for your patience. We do need to share all that information so you know what we've been up to and what we're going to be doing next week. So thank you for your patience. And if somebody has sent you this link today, it's because they love you. Yeah. I ask you to share this on your Facebook page. You don't know who needs to hear this message. You don't know who needs the help, or they're afraid to reach out. But we're here to help people. So if you need help and support, private message us. We are happy to connect with you. We've got our care team online at the moment, and you're not alone in this. That's all I want you to know. We're here with you. Yeah, we're walking with you. So Sally, thank you so much. Come a little bit closer. Let's have it. I know we've got the distancing. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And I started to chat with you a little bit earlier. You started sharing a bit with me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, stop! I gotta breathe, because man, what a journey you've been on.
It's been absolutely crazy.
So thank you for wanting to share, because it's a big deal, guys. It's a big deal when you're sharing.
Very real.
Yeah.
It's very big. And if I can stop or help anybody going through this situation, or prevent this situation from happening to anyone else, it will definitely help me heal.
Yeah, that's
in
awesome.
the situation.
Yeah, and that's true. It doesn't only help us, but it helps other people, but it also helps us by sharing. So, Sally, tell me a little bit about your background and how this journey started.
I've had like the rough childhood, like been through the abuse, and then I went through a marriage that was domestic violence, and then I got on the ice, and I was an addict for 10 years. I ended up in jail a couple of times. I lost my kids to child safety. I eventually went to rehab, and I got clean, and I managed to stay clean for 8 years.
Wow.
I thought I was always open with my kids about it, like eventually, and we always tried to say we'd prevent our kids from going down that road. We never can be too sure what's going to happen to them. Basically, back in April, my son, who's 20 years old, he's a beautiful boy. He's always lovable, very happy, outgoing. He started living with his friends there's about 10 of them in the house, and they were partying up. This is all when COVID started, so they weren't supposed to be having parties. His next door neighbour was a paranoid schizophrenic, diagnosed mentally ill, and I think there was some drugs involved. He hit my son with a crowbar, once in the arm, twice in the head. He's crushed his skull completely. It was embedded in his brain. It's very hard to talk about sometimes. His parts of his brain was left at the scene. It was that horrific. And the guy went and called the police afterwards. He realised what he'd done and basically waited for the police. My son was airlifted from from Bundaberg to Royal Brisbane. It took 3 hours of surgery to remove the skull fragments from his brain. He was that bad. I got a call on the Wednesday morning, and my legs just went from underneath me.
Of course they do.
I couldn't breathe, I couldn't scream, I couldn't cry. I was like in a nightmare, but I couldn't do anything. No one could hear me. They could probably see my facial expressions, but nothing was coming out. And it was the most horrific phone call of my life. And I crawled to my front door. I had to wake my younger son up to tell him. And yeah, I was in shock. I didn't know what to believe, and then because we were locked down and the COVID, the hospital only had certain hours, so he was in ICU, and then we went up to the hospital, and only one family member, like, for 1 hour per day, which was ridiculous, but I mean, for COVID, they had to. And then basically I went up there and they said that not many people would come back from this type of injury.
Yeah.
And that he suffered a very severe catastrophic brain injury. His brain had bled, and he had no skull left on the left-hand side of his brain. Sorry, can I get you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Okay, this is really deep, and I do want to go back a little bit when you get when we
Yeah.
get to a certain point. So then what happened?
So then basically the doctors were telling me there was no coming back from this type of injury, and I was in shock. I couldn't believe I was seeing my son there with tubes coming out of everywhere. And coming on to 4 days, they called us all in, the whole family, and the rest were on the phone. And they said that my son's brain had gone to mush.
Wow.
And that he wasn't going to make it. And they said the best case scenario was that if he did make it, he'd be a complete vegetable. So then we'd have to have that conversation of whether to pull the life support or not. And I wasn't ready to give up. There was no way I was giving up on him. And so I created a page for him on Facebook. And from that minute onwards, I shared that page to every prayer group I could around the world. Like, I didn't stop for about a week and a half, I don't think.
Wow.
And I was begging God, I was praying to keep him alive. I wasn't ready to pull that cord.
Yeah.
It was just a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, every day I was just waking up thinking, this can't be real.
Yeah. Yeah. But you think that, you do the best for your kids, and you came out of all that journey, of ice addiction, domestic violence, entrapment, and then to have to go to see this.
Okay.
And mental health, guys, is a very serious issue. And his friend that, was in schizophrenia, mental health with drugs is a time bomb waiting to happen. And drugs induce mental health issues as well. So I know of somebody that took ice once, and he wasn't able to process distance and space, and he jumped in front of a bus, and he was 19, and he lost his life, and that was once, 1 second.
It doesn't
and
take long.
It doesn't
It's
take
really
long.
that quick. And
It's-
people, even if they, they can go into psychosis and never come out.
That's right.
And
And that,
they destroys families. It ruins people. It ruins people's lives.
I can't begin to imagine your journey, and what you are walking through, and you will walk through this, and because God is good, and I believe that we're going to see breakthrough with your
Well,
son.
that's what happened. Was like they said that. Like I called Ryan's Rule. I called like different opinions. I was not giving up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't let my son go, knowing that I hadn't tried 500%, and knowing that I tried, and I was praying, and I couldn't do anything. The doctors said they couldn't do anymore. I handed it over to God. I've always believed in God, but when you say miracles, you sort of don't know what to think. But I saw the scans when they told us that his brain had gone to mush, and it was bad. Yeah. And then literally a week and a half later, he moved, and it was his first purposeful movement, and he came through. He came out of his coma, and he's an absolute miracle.
Wow.
And he just kept getting stronger and stronger, and he was fully aware of who I was.
Wow. Wow.
He understands everything we say. He's an absolute miracle. There is no way he should have come out of this, and he's an absolute blessing. Like, there's nothing more than a miracle.
That's incredible.
When you hear the doctors saying what they told us, and he's an absolute miracle.
That's incredible. He's had another chance.
He made a deal with God that day.
Yes, I bet.
Him and God have their own deal happening, because I sort of say to him, "You were just a miracle."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and that's what you can bring your kids up, in the most care. I had a great upbringing. There's no reason for me to try ice or to go down that path. your son saw what you went through?
Yeah, he
Did
did.
he watch?
Yeah,
How old was he when you were in addiction? Did he watch that happen?
yeah. They saw. I think they were about 6 or 7 when I started.
Yeah, and they obviously would have been involved with the domestic violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they seen it. So yeah,
So,
they saw a lot. Yeah.
I'm sure that they would have said, I don't want to be in that scene. I don't want to be
Yeah.
involved with that scene. But you know, as much as we think we can safeguard our kids, you know,
We can't protect them.
them.
We try.
you know, that's a really, you know, we talk to the kids from lived experience, like what you went through, and keep reinforcing it. We go back to schools, we bring different presenters, we bring people that have gone through that journey, in hope that they say, no, not doing that, don't want to. Of course you're going to get some that are going to do that. It doesn't matter how much we talk, but we're going to at least be able to show them the consequences.
This is a major consequence.
And,
this is the biggest one of the biggest consequences is facing your child. It's like
That's
we're
incredible.
sitting there in a hospital with tubes coming out of everywhere, and I'm begging him to stay alive.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And today he's having to learn to
He's
talk.
having to learn to walk and talk.
Wow.
He's so lucky. I'm blessed
That's
that he's alive.
incredible.
He's just had his skull replaced a couple of weeks ago. They had to put a titanium plate in the whole left side of his head. But yeah, he's confused sometimes, but he's learning. He can say about 10 words, but his life has changed, like his whole life. Yeah, he's starting to walk with support. His right arm is curling up, but he's a miracle, and I'm praying this time next year that he'll be running around going, it's just a bump on my head. But the severity of it is he has brain damage.
Well,
But he's a miracle, but we can always pray.
brain damage can be healed like
Yeah,
everything else.
that's exactly
They
right.
said he was
They
not
said he
gonna
wasn't going to make it.
and he has. So I would love to see your son come through this and come and work with us, you know, in the schools and talk to the kids, because that's where it's at. You know, if you're going to get involved, and even the kids at schoolies, you know, when we talk to them and we say, you know, you think you're going to party up and have a good time. You don't understand what can happen in a heartbeat. You don't see the severity of a future or a life that can be taken by not.
But in a second, like
second,
it doesn't take long, and it might not be anything to do with you. It could be just an act from someone else that's on it. You
That's
know,
right.
anything. They might not even be on it. Just always gotta be careful and don't ever try it. Not even look once, because you never know what it's going to do to you permanently.
That's right. That's incredible.
The permanent effects of it can have just that one time.
Do you have other siblings?
Yeah. I've got a daughter.
Children? Yeah.
I've got a younger son as well.
So they are younger than Ryan? Is it Ryan?
No, Christian's my oldest one. He's the one that's in the hospital.
Okay. So he's still in the hospital?
He's in a rehab now. Then,
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He'll be there for another 22 weeks.
Wow.
So, and he's very alone.
Yeah.
Like he can have visitors, but his whole life changed. He's got a daughter
Wow.
that he can't see. So
And how old is he, sorry?
he's 20.
20.
Yeah, and his daughter's 1. She turned 1 when he was in a coma.
Wow.
So
So he's missed out on
he's missing out, yeah.
And all that recovery, the rehab, the recovery, you know, nearly losing his life, and the pain that you've walked through, you know, nobody needs to go through that, guys. You know,
I wouldn't wish it upon anyone.
that's just the extreme of the extreme. I think when we go into schools, like we talk, you know, some of the stuff, you know, we've lost people that we love, you know, we've got, some of us have long-term damage, you know, but that is like to the extreme, you know.
Yeah, that's
I
every parent's worst nightmare is getting that phone call.
Yeah.
I couldn't answer my phone first for a while, because when I was hearing the ringtone, it just brought me back to that.
Yeah.
When my legs just dropped, and
Yeah.
that phone call that I dreaded, like, you know, as a parent growing up, the last thing we ever want to hear is something's happened to our kids, but to get a phone call that brutal, and then to see him lying there, like, just lifeless, and begging him to stay alive. And I was telling God to trade me.
Yeah.
You know, I'd give anything to be in a situation.
Yeah. And
This is real. Like, I live it every day.
And Tell me about your the ice journey before with you. Like when your son obviously started partying and whatever, did you warn him? Like, did you say
I've always said to him, I said, I understand you might try things, but I definitely encourage you, do not try ice.
Yeah.
I always said I'd kick your ass if
Yeah.
I ever try it, and he's always promised me he wouldn't. I don't know 100% like what he's tried or what's happened, but yeah, this has ended up as a result.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it. It's just nothing's worth it.
Do you think, Sally, that maybe if you hadn't tried ice, that maybe your son wouldn't have tried ice?
Well, I've gone through a lot through the what ifs. I've been doing that a lot lately. What if I changed this, or what if I didn't do that? What if I didn't live that life? But it's everywhere.
Yep.
No matter where we go, it's
right.
everywhere, and it's so much more common these days. And as you said, kids as young as eight, like it is so there. It's not funny. So it's very hard to say that if I hadn't lived that life. Because it doesn't matter who you are. You could come from the best family. You can come from the best upbringing.
Yep.
But the ice is there, and one of your friends is going to try it, and one of your friends is going to offer it, and you know, peer pressure as well.
Yep.
The feeling that it gives you for, like, you know, it's great for the first couple of times, but the outcome, and it never stays that way. It'll never be that way. It'll always end up bad. You'll always end up losing your family, your loved ones, or losing your own life. So many people lose their lives.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of it, and it destroys you. It absolutely destroys everyone in its path, and that's what it's there for. It's there to destroy everyone.
Totally agree.
It's not a band-aid. It doesn't fix things.
No, it just makes things worse.
It does.
Obviously.
Absolutely destroys it. Now, you know, people so young, like their lives could have been so much better.
I asked you that question, and it was a very confronting question, because I know that a lot of parents who have, you know, had addiction, you know, if their child goes down that path, they often blame themselves. And I know for a fact, and with the counsellors here, and you, that is a very small percentage of kids that have seen a parent or loved one go through it. A very, very small percentage choose to go down that same path.
Yeah.
And when they do, it doesn't matter whether you had been or not.
Yeah.
It's not dependent on you. They have their own choices and their own free will. And whether you had never gone through it, they still would have done what they did.
Exactly.
So you can't blame yourself. Yeah. No, you can't. You just can't. All you can do is try and protect your kid as much as you can.
Be open, honest with them.
Talk with them.
Get them to be honest with you, and tell them like about the pressures.
Yep.
Like, as the peer pressures, especially in the schools.
Yeah.
Everybody's pressuring each other. Like they're open and talk to you. You can maybe give them a strategy to prevent being put in that situation. Tell them how to deal with the pressures before they go and try it themselves, because you only need to have it that one time.
Wow. Your other kids, have they gone?
No.
Have they gone and tried any of these drugs?
No, they've been very good. My youngest is only 13. I'm very overprotective now, I guess, because of this.
Yeah.
I'm very strict on him.
But he would have seen what happened to his brother, and he's very scared as well. Yeah. And that's what we're about. You know, some of our guys, you know, they've been to prison. There's another guy that I would love to introduce your son to. Yeah. And I met him on the street last Sunday. Yeah. His name's Luke, and he had similar. He actually had to learn how to walk and talk again, and they took a big chunk of his leg. They said he'd never walk again, and he's amazing. He's just amazing, and he's doing everything. Like, you wouldn't know if he didn't tell you his story.
That's it.
And his skull was crushed, and he had operations, and he had to learn everything again. So he said, God had to reprogram me.
That's it. It's all rewiring.
So I'd love to. He's been through what? Is it older? He's 27, I think he said. I'd love to introduce him to your son for encouragement. Yeah. You know, and that's what we call budding. We have a really strong budding system where people like myself who've been through addiction can buddy somebody who's wanting to step out of that space. Yeah. And we encourage them. We come along. Tell them our stories. You know, we tell them about what works, what doesn't work. we put them on a tripod system of support, which is they get a buddy, they get a counsellor, and they get to go to meetings. But it's it's working together. We're about relationships.
Everyone needs the support. Everyone needs to have that someone.
And we're about relationships. We're about friendships and being there for one another. And really walking the walk.
Yeah, well, there's so many people alone out there. When this first happened, I remember one of my first thoughts was me and my son are alone, my youngest one.
Yeah.
But we had no one. I hadn't talked to my brother and my sister-in-law for like 2 years, but they came to me obviously, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, but the rest of my family, we're still lost.
Yeah. And that can happen sometimes
Yeah,
in families,
it
was
that much. Yeah, it was that much of emotion for everybody. It just,
But we've got to learn to just let go of the smaller things.
Yeah, that's it.
Because sometimes she said and he said, and there's this argument. But tomorrow, life is just so short.
It's too short. It's way too short. You
vapor
don't know.
in the wind. We're just like here, and then we're not.
Yeah.
And what if you're not here tomorrow?
That's it, and anything is possible.
That's
You don't know what time you have left, and no one knows what we're here for.
You got to cherish every moment,
Yeah, I question myself every day, like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And why do I go through this? And I think maybe if I can help other people, that would be the only really reason that I could say that I'm here, is to help someone else go through it, or so someone else doesn't feel alone.
Yeah, that's
or
awesome.
to help another family member, or prevent anything, more than anything, prevent someone being in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would be my ultimate goal.
And I think that the young people specifically, but most of us think we're invincible, that it won't happen to us. That that happened to her, but that won't happen to me, and that's a lie. Yeah, that's
so
totally
not
that's
true.
a lie. You embark in ice world, and it will lead you to destruction. It will lead you to hell. It will lead you to entrapment. It will lead you to pain. There's nothing good at the end of that road.
No, nothing at all. It'll make you think that it's making everything better, but it doesn't. It's literally destroying every part of you, everything around you, and everyone around you.
The thing, when you let it in, it can take a stronghold. In your life, and you've got to keep shutting the door to it. You really do. We when we go into the schools, we talk to the kids about standing together and saying no. How do you say no to ice? No.
That's it.
That's it. It's not cool. It's not cool to be on ice.
Yeah.
Not after what we show them, and not after they understand that it's acetone and Drano and what happens to your teeth, what happens to your insides, and they get to experience that.
And what happens to you mentally as well, which is the biggest thing. Even if you don't have mental health issues, if you've got a gene for it or something, it can only take that one time to trigger it, and you've got long-term like schizophrenia or something. So
even if you don't have a gene for it, it depletes a chemical, an area in your brain that produces dopamine. And what we've found is that when you're on ice, the receptors and transporters, that's medically, they get blocked, and they recede, and they don't pump out the dopamine. So when you it takes 12 to 18 months for that to start working again, right? So a lot of people have to stay on antidepressants, because that really doesn't get
to make the chemical balance back up.
And it, any little thing, and that stops working, and it's a lifelong battle. Why do you want to even have that in your life for couple of days of pleasure, and then you just everything else is hell.
Turns into a lifetime of hell.
Yeah, and that's what you're going through. With your son.
I've been clean 8 years, and still, like, I never thought this day would come. Like, that phone call, every parent dreads I got, and I'll never forget it. And I watch my son now daily as he's recovering, but as much as I'm glad he's recovering, I'm still sad because he's not who he was, the full potential that he was. And he's got to find himself as well.
That's right. He's got a whole journey ahead.
Yeah, that's it. He's got a long journey ahead, but he's strong, and he's a miracle. So
And thank God he can comprehend
Yeah,
and
that's
recognise you. You know, I know a man, he's down south, and he did ice, and he went into psychosis and never came out.
yeah,
He is
that's very
stuck
possible.
in
I've seen it.
psychosis, you know, for the rest of his life. And when he first came to my office, I said to the person that brought him, I said, how could you bring somebody that's on ice into the ARC office? We're anti-ice. He said,
Yes,
oh no,
totally.
he's not on ice. He said he's not on ice. He was, and this is the consequence of
Yeah.
what happened. And it was almost like he was retarded, but it was like he was in psychosis. And
They're
he was
in a
like,
dreamland, like they're in this own reality, like realm.
yeah, and he was
Yeah.
scared, and you know, it looked like he was like watching us under his eyes, you know, and it was like, oh
The
my God.
paranoid, they all get paranoid, and it's not good. And there's nothing good. Like this all happened with my son over loud music.
Wow,
The music was so loud, he had to go and hurt someone.
that's incredible.
And yeah, it's insane.
That's just crazy. And you know, a split second and it changes your life
Yeah.
forever. Thank God that your son is alive.
Yeah, I'm
You
so
know,
blessed,
and,
and he's blessed.
And on the mend, you know, in
Yeah.
recovery, because not everybody's that lucky.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's so many people that don't make it out.
And you know, so a lot of guys end up in jail too, and girls.
Well, this guy's now thinking he's looking at 20 years jail for this.
Wow.
So I bet he's now regretting.
Yeah.
Well, he called the police straight afterwards
Yeah.
and waited for them to arrest him. So I'm guessing it was just that split second thought,
Yeah.
like, oh, what have I done now?
Yeah.
And yeah,
No,
it's
and
now changed the rest of his life because he'll be spending that time inside.
if somebody's using ice, there's a chemical called serotonin in the brain, and when that's depleted, anger, violence, aggression,
Yeah.
and because the frontal lobe of the brain's not working,
Yeah.
where logic, rational decisions take place, right? He probably didn't have time to think that, you know.
Yeah,
just that
the anger just overpowered him.
Yeah.
And it does, it makes you very aggressive.
Yeah. I think that's got to be one of the saddest stories that I've heard in a long time. I'm really happy that he's coming good.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you're doing today, because I know you're doing something special for your son.
I'm just trying to raise money for him.
Yep.
So, like, for his recovery, and
Yep.
like, I'm pretty much selling clothes from home.
Okay.
Because
you used to have a shop.
I used to have a shop,
Yeah.
that didn't work out too well. We were promised a lot with the games that didn't work.
Yeah.
So I've been selling clothes from home, and now everything I sell pretty much it's going into like a pot pretty much for him.
Awesome.
To help him
with his
recovery,
Yeah.
and just with he's I think he's stuck at the moment with what he's going to be doing because one of his arms isn't working.
Yeah.
He's stuck where what's he going to be, and you know what
Yeah.
can he do?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much just to help him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pay for his treatment and stuff.
I know that God has a plan, and I'm hoping that we can have your son on the show one day to have a chat. But tell us how people can help. Where can they come and visit
You can donate to here.
Yep. Yep, you
they've
can
got a
donate on Australian Anti-Ice campaign page. If you just, what's your son's name again?
Christian.
Christian. If you put in Christian as your reference, we'll be able to forward that. But also they can come and buy clothes from your shop.
Yes.
You're selling from the garage, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And-
I also have a page, Justice for Christian, which is his page, and it's his whole journey is on this page.
Wow. So that's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's called
Justice for Christian,
Justice
and
for
you can
Christian.
follow from pretty much the start
Wow.
to where he is. Like he took his first few steps the other week.
Yeah.
I never cried so much in my
Oh,
life.
wow.
I was so happy.
And people can like the page.
Yeah,
and
you
just
can
follow
like
his
and you can
story.
follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can contact you.
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
contact me
on there.
directly through
Yeah.
there.
So you answer the messages and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I answer.
So if you want to talk, guys, to Sally, you Justice for Christian, and you can private message her, or you can chat online here in the private messaging. We will be tagging her, and if you want to donate to Christian, you can do that on our website. www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. Just put the reference number name their Christian, and we'll be able to forward that on to Sally to help Christian with his journey.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's incredible. And you're a single mum?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doing this.
Do it alone, yeah.
Well, you got your other son.
I've got my younger son, yes.
And you must have an incredible bunch of people around you to support you.
Yeah.
And you've just gained a whole heap of others as well. This is a parent's worst nightmare. That goes from ice world to devastation. And we're just praying for a great outcome.
Yeah, just keep the prayers coming.
Yeah, definitely. So is there anything else that you want to share, like to families out there maybe, or people that might be, I'm aware that there's a lot of young families and people are using ice. I'm aware of that. And they think that
they've got it under control.
Yeah, that's the
They
word.
don't have it under control. It has control of you.
Yeah.
There is no way you have control of it. As soon as you try it, that has control of you. As soon as you pick up that pipe or that needle, or anyway, it has complete control of you.
How long were you trapped in that?
10 years.
10 years, wow.
Yeah. And I still get punished to this day for stuff like from 10 years ago. People will still judge me like the police officer that was dealing with my son's case. Like, I could tell, like, at first he was real nice and, very comforting in that when he was telling me what happened. And then he was, on the next phone call, he was completely cold. And I knew right then and there he'd looked at, I had a record. And I thought, this is still coming back on me 8 years later. And they do, people do judge. It's not worth it.
No.
Like, I'm going through the worst time anyone could go through, really. And I'm still getting judged by the police who are supposed to be helping, like, the family,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate because they judge. I've had the same. She's just an addict. Well, no, we're actually people who got addicted to a substance, into ice, the worst substance known to man. But then we're people.
We're still human. We still have a heart, and we still live and breathe, and we have emotions. And just because we did what we did in our past does not make us who we are now.
That's right, exactly. We're not here to judge you guys. If you're needing help and you want to step out from addiction, we're here to help. We've been through it. If you're a family member that's got a loved one in addiction before it's too late, let's tackle
Prevent
that.
it.
Let's tackle that. Yeah, prevention's better than cure. We want to get into the schools. We want to talk to these kids. Hopefully, we can have Christian with us one day.
Yeah, that would be great.
And he can share as well. So that might give him a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
That could, could be something that he could do later.
Yeah, when he's out of the rehab.
Yeah,
he'll definitely be. Because I know he's going to be fine.
But we will be following his page, and every so often we'll put in a highlight to remind you to have a look, see how he's doing, and because that's incredible.
He's a miracle, and thank God he is.
Yeah, every day. Guys, if you want to ask Sally any questions, please post them up now. She's here to chat and to share her story in hope that no one else has to go through the same journey.
I wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
Sally, what would you have done different if you could have done anything different, like today?
In my life, or just in...
With this whole journey that you've been on, with your son, do you think you could have prevented these?
I wish I was there. I could sit there and think, I wish I was there, but I'm never going to, it wouldn't have changed anything because I can't be there when he's 20 years old. I couldn't be there.
No.
But I sit there and think, what if, what if I was there? And, if I was there, I would have taken the hits for myself. I would have protected every kid there.
Yeah.
But
do you think it would have helped for him to hear a story like his?
I think, and if you saw the photos, if you look on his page, you will see the photos, and some of them are pretty revealing, I guess. Yeah. And there's also a video clip that we played that we made up for him when he was in a coma to help bring him out.
Yeah.
There's a song by Skillet called Not Gonna Die Tonight.
Yeah.
I see you were a bit funny about playing it, but I made sure we played it every day, and it's got some photos of him and beforehand and his daughter, and I love the clip. Like, I still watch it every day.
That's awesome.
But it shows like how his life just changed in a sec, and it's got the newspaper articles.
Yeah.
And I hope people watch that and see that this is what can happen. This is so real.
Yeah. a combination of mental health issues,
Yeah.
drugs, anger, violence,
And a split second, that decision, because he obviously realised what he did and he called the police straight away.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
instant guilt, regret, but in that second, it's cost him the next 20 years of his life.
Yeah. That is
And my
really
son,
sad.
the rest of his life
yeah.
too,
Yeah.
has changed. Like, but not only that, it's destroyed me. It's destroyed everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
The impact that it has, its ripple effect.
Yes, that's right, and that's, you know, with ICE, you know, people that are entrapped. I had a young lady that walked in off the street, and she's like, "Please, my brother's on ICE. I don't know how to help him, and it's destroying my mum, and it's destroying my family." You don't realise the minute that you say yes to that pipe, or to that needle, or to that pill, you don't realise the impact, effect that it's going to have.
Yeah,
you know?
and how many people down the line, it's going to affect everybody around you, not just the one, not just your mum, just every single person you become in contact with. Your whole demeanour, everything that changes, the people you meet, it affects everybody. It will never, there's nothing good about it whatsoever.
There isn't. And the thing is,
I regret ever taking it.
You think that it won't, like, nah, it won't happen to me. I'll be right. I got this, and you know, everybody thinks the same.
And a lot of people think it's great to lose weight. The weight's not healthy when you lose the weight that way. It is not healthy. You become sick.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of the women I know with fatigue and, you know, trying to clean the house after their kids, single mothers, they use it a lot as an excuse. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth losing your kids over. I was very lucky. I fought hard, and I got my kids back.
Yeah. So did you lose them for a little
Yeah,
bit?
I lost my youngest one for 5 years, and
Wow.
they took when I was in rehab. Actually, they took an order out until he was 18.
Wow.
And then 2 years later, they revoked all orders, and only 4% of people get their kids back on that order. A lot of people give up.
Yeah.
I never did. I kept fighting, and the judge said that.
But you changed your life.
Yeah, the judge.
You actually took the steps. People don't realise when they're in addiction sometimes that they go, oh, I'll clean up in a minute and I'll get my kids back.
Yeah, and it doesn't work like that. No way.
Yeah. And that's we're working with a couple of girls that well, one in particular that's in that situation. I'll get them back when I change my life. But
it affects their life for that long that you take. The longer you take, the longer it takes on. Yeah.
That's right, and the more impact, isn't it?
The more impact it has. Yeah.
We have a comment here from Ria.
Ria.
Thank you for sharing your story. And she's praying for your son. Awesome. Thank you. And comment from Steve Foster. Ice, it poisons the nervous system and the brain system. Absolutely does.
Yeah.
And I can add to that, it poisons your soul. You know, it destroys every part, your brain, your body, spirit, soul. It just destroys you every way.
Destroys your faith.
Yeah, everything. Your family. It steals, kills, and destroys. It rips you apart. And it has no mercy, you know. And when you're on your knees, it'll try and take you further.
Yeah, that's it. It does. Yeah.
But you know, thank God we have some good coming out, and I know that God's going to use that for good.
Yeah.
I know that because you know your son is determined.
He's very
determined.
yeah.
You have to be determined to have changed your life out of ice addiction.
Yeah.
And now be going through this and be here today sharing.
Yeah.
You guys, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to share what Sally's just shared, and that journey. But you know, we hope that no one ever goes.
I don't want anyone to go through that path. If I could stop one person, then it makes it it makes it sort of better a bit.
Yeah.
It'll help me heal knowing that I've prevented someone.
Yeah.
Or some child like touching it. It's just never worth it. Never be a good outcome.
Yeah. So if you had one final message for the people at home, if you had one chance to say, you know,
Don't ever let it get to where. Don't let it go too far. Just get help now.
Yeah.
Stop it where it is if you're on it, or just don't touch it. Don't let the pressure of your friends or anybody. Don't let anyone take it. It is poison from the word go. You think that it's great for the first time or first couple of times. It's poisoning you from the minute it hits your system.
That's
and
right.
it will stay that way and it destroys. That's all it does.
Yeah, that's a really good message. You know, don't delay, guys. If you're a family member, you have a loved one in addiction, reach out. Yeah, don't let this linger. Don't say, well, I've tried so many things and, you know, my loved one's still entrapped in addiction. Reach us, you know, let's try again. You don't give up. You don't give up on them. One time that you give up might be that time where they lose their life, yeah? So just keep going. You know, we've got tools that we want to help you with. To be able to, you know, come and do an intervention and help your loved one out of addiction.
Yeah.
Just don't give up.
Tomorrow's never promised. They work now, act now.
That's awesome, eh? I love
Yeah.
that. That's great. Guys, if you have any questions, please post them up. We will be tagging Sally, and you know, you can follow the page. Remind me again where the page
Justice for Christian.
Justice for Christian with the
C.
Yeah, awesome. And follow that. And again, if you want to
I
donate,
can put the link on your page so people can follow.
fantastic. Yeah. We will be doing that, and you know, support the cause. He's making an effort, you know, huge effort to change his life around.
He's an absolute miracle.
Yeah. I look forward to having him on the couch here.
The strength that he has.
Yeah, when he comes out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing today.
That's all right.
Yeah, and I know that it's going to touch families out there and prompt them to
act now, not tomorrow. It's never too.
Yeah, right now. The number to call is, can you help me read that out?
1-800-6686. 423.
Yep, that's 1-800-NO-TO-ICE. 1-800-6686423, guys. Family support number, mobile number is 0481844455 if you can't call out the 1-800 number. But we're here to help. Yeah, we want to help you make that change. Yeah. Today, not tomorrow.
Tomorrow's too late.
That's it. Sally, can I show you a little slogan of our message?
Yep.
We show this at schools and we show it to the people at home. I'll teach you today. You ready? Not. The N. Yep. Even.
Yep.
With 3 fingers, like an E. Yep. Even once. Let's do it together. You ready? Not even once. Guys, thanks for listening. thanks for sharing, Sally. Good night. See you next week. God bless. Take care and stay clean. And reach out for help, hey? Love you.
See ya.